This is Jeremy Chikarides, and this is my audiovisual report on the 2020 presidential debates, or the beginnings thereof. So we're going to talk about how, the presidential debates are now commonplace, They happen every election cycle. They're expected, they're anticipated, they're demanded for by some. But it wasn't always like this. So we're going to talk about how media helped this system of the presidential debates develop and how they've been so closely related and interacted throughout the years. All right, so the different mediums of media in which these things happened, starting with some of the earliest, the telegraph. In the year 1844, one of the first telegraph messages sent as one of the first kind of flagship test setups between, I believe it was Baltimore and DC, was a telegraph message revealing Henry Clay's nomination for president. The very beginning of our media and our foundation for all of the different media we have today was based on, started with a presidential nomination. All right, moving on to the radio, radio became really widely utilized in, the 1920s and 30s, and presidential debates, not so much presidential debates, but debates between politicians, congressmen and senators, started happening, aired on radio as early as 1948. And then in television, the first televised presidential debate was in 1960. And even to this day, presidential debates are widely televised. They're primetime television slots, and now we have them streamed on the internet. We have not only just the debates live on the internet, you can watch them as they happen anywhere you have internet connection, but we also now have clips and segments available for small time consumption by viewers. We have the ability to have these little bits and clips of information all around us all the time, to make GIFs and memes and all of these things with them. It makes it very cultural and part of the culture of our society. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the different purposes, some of the different ends to which these presidential debates come to, such as here we see an image from a 2016 debate. It really leads into what we're about to talk about here, the different uses. The first image we just saw was, it's entertaining to watch different people go back and forth. So many pieces of media and entertainment, television, movies, music, really revolves around this idea of us versus them, or right versus wrong, or left versus right. And so seeing two people argue, butt heads, disagree, is something that people just love to consume. Music, Biggie and Tupac, or beef between different musicians, and on social media. We love drama. We feed on it, and it's very entertaining to us. Now, of course, we do have a real political motive for these, these candidates want to get elected. In terms of the Democratic primary debates that we had more recently, it's about getting your slot for your party. Later on in the election cycle, it will be about getting voters on your side versus their side, and really kind of sinking your teeth into those undecided voters to try and win an election. And we definitely see that elections have been won and lost based off of these debates, such as Carter and Reagan have both had major changes in the flow of their elections and in the flow of their campaigns based off of the immediate effects of their campaigning and debating. Now, also, both politically and entertainment-wise and leading into information, is in the debates themselves, the moderators ask the questions, right? Well, even as far back as 1960, they haven't always been solely on policy. They haven't always just been solely informational. Now, they are, and they do pertain to different policies and things people are usually concerned about, but there's a lot of them, again, going back to even 1960, that are really biased, controversial questions aimed to really kind of throw a candidate off their feet, to in terms of politics, to see how they react to the unexpected, and in terms of entertainment, to really kind of get them to go after each other. If I can provide a controversial topic and watch two sides argue tooth and nail from the extreme opposite ends, it's really entertaining. And then, again, the real simple basis of information. Something like this, we see very simply put, these are the Democratic candidates running for 2020, who are all pining for the same Democratic candidate slot. And much like that, debates are informational. They are news. They do try to be objective in the fact that there is a moderator and that they're trying to really give each candidate a time slot. In this particular instance, they divided all of these people into 2 different nights in order to really give them a chance to talk about their policies and to answer the questions in a fuller way. Now, one of the major points of, I think, this project is, you're listening to me right now, you're watching this, this is a YouTube video. You are watching this over the internet. This medium of which I'm presenting this audiovisual report to you is made possible by the medium that is the internet, and that presidential debates have been brought to this platform to be extremely accessible to everybody. You don't have to pay a cable subscription, which to a lot of people is an unnecessary cost, or have your TV or your satellite TV set up to watch these debates. While of course a radio is more accessible to most people than a cell phone. Cell phones are just so widely commonplace that they really amplify the ability to get bits of information instantly wherever we are, and this medium has really advanced the platform that is the debate platform to really get us into it, to get us hooked on it, to get us entertained, to feed us this information, and to sway majorly political plans and campaigns have completely changed direction because of these. Getting funding, getting campaign contributions. All of these things have been made so accessible and so possible by the internet. I could be watching the presidential debate and get a pop-up asking me to donate to my favorite candidate, and within a couple of clicks I can send money to their campaign. Not only does the platform itself, the debate, sway possibly our opinions on these candidates, but they also allow us near immediate accessibility to support them and in real time changes to their campaign in how it's funded. So thank you for listening and watching, and chew on that the next time you're sitting and watching your presidential debate.